Let's talk about how to tune our instruments. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using a violin, but the process is the exact same for violas, and it's similar for cellos and basses, but I'm going to explain how it might be a little bit different as well. Now, when we're in school, we use these block tuners, these Korg tuners like this. You might have one of these at home, or you might have something different. You might have a tuning app. Also, like I have here on my iPad, this one is called Tonal Energy. It costs money, but it's fun because it smiles at you when it's in tune. Or, again, there are a lot of different free tuning apps that you might download on a phone or a tablet. Another option is to use tunerninja.com. If you just type in Tuner Ninja into your search engine, you will find it, and that is also a free website. Most of these tuners work pretty much in the same way, and I'm going to show you kind of the slight differences in how to go about this process. This tuner that we use in school has 3 different lights. There are 2 red lights and a green light, and you can kind of see them lighting up as I'm talking, and the tuner is trying to pick out what note my voice is. You're also going to notice that there's a number 440 on the tuner. If the number does not show up as 440, you need to adjust it using these kind of this adjuster to make it 440. And you're also going to notice that it's trying to decide what note. So you're going to see right there, it thought that my voice was at an F. It's going between A, G, so on and so forth. As you tune, it is incredibly important that the note name that is coming up on these tuners matches what you want it to be for the string. For example, if I'm trying to tune my A string and you see that tuner come up as a different note, you need to adjust it to make it say A. So, for example, you can kind of get a better angle of my iPad here. That note is still coming up as an A. It's coming up as a very out of tune sharp A. But let's say it was even a little bit higher for some reason. The note's coming up as a B flat. That tells me I need to bring it way down to make it say A. The way that we do this on violin and viola is we take our left hand and access these fine tuners from underneath. Don't go over top like this, go underneath like this. Find the fine tuner that corresponds with the string you're trying to tune, and you're going to move your bow fast and light and adjust the fine tuner at the same time. I'm going to show you how I do this with this A string. And again, this tuner smiles at me when I get it in tune. On this tuner, the one that we use in school, you're going to see it go from a red light to a green light. You're also going to see a dial that starts to move, and it becomes straight up, kind of like at 12 o'clock on a clock when it's in tune. Now, let's say I was tuning and my string is way too high, right? Kind of like the A string. You want to turn your tuner to the left. If it's too flat and you need it to go higher, you turn it to the right. Another way of doing this is to listen. And if it sounds like the sound is going up, then you're making it more sharp. If it sounds like it's going down, you're making it more flat. I'm going to show you this example one more time on the D string. I move my bow fast and light, and I adjust my fine tuner as I play. It's at an E flat, so I'm going to bring it down to a D. You can see the green light is lit up, and this moves to a smiley face. I could do the same with G. You can see it's coming up as an F sharp, which is way too low, so I need to bring it way up. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what's going to happen if you don't move your bow fast and light. It's going to sound, a lot of people tend to have a hard time coordinating doing both at the same time. But if you don't focus on moving fast and light, your tuner's not going to know what to pick up. And it's going to have a really hard time figuring out when the note is actually in tune. So again, if I think fast and light, my tuner knows what's happening, and it'll help me give a more accurate reading. Now, if you're playing the cello or the bass, right, this is slightly different. For the cello, we don't have the ability to turn our fine tuners as we are bowing. So you have to kind of do both at different times. You would play first. Let's say I'm doing the A string and I'll move it out of tune. If I was a cello, I would play first. I would assess this and say, okay, it's coming up as an A flat. I need to move my fine tuner up. Then I would test it again. Still a little flat. Move it again. Looks like I went too high. Move it down. A little more adjusting. Until it's finally in tune. If you play the bass, you do have the ability to adjust your tuners as you play. Just know that you don't have the fine tuners and that you can just use your left hand to adjust the pegs as you keep bowing. That's about all there is to tuning. Let me know if you have any questions.